guys, look who's here.
Hi everyone.
And look where we are. Look where we are. We're in this beautiful Alice's house. And it's time for another episode of Ask Alice.
We're going to do samplers today.
Samplers.
Yes, so we're going to go from room to room. I'm going to give you a little history, and I'm going to try to read the verses. But I want you to see how beautiful the samplers are.
Yes, we're going to take a really close look at those samplers today.
Yes.
So this is very exciting. This will be really fun. So thanks for having us, Alice.
Anytime. You're welcome anytime.
Oh, wow.
So let's start in the dining room. So this is going to be the first sampler. I'll let Ian kind of let you look at it. I'm going to just go over a few little facts. This particular sampler is a band sampler, and a band sampler is a long, thinner one.
Okay.
And then they had spot samplers where they were more square and they had different themes. They used them to practice their stitches. So the band sampler was one that they actually didn't hang on the wall. They would roll it up, but would refer to it when they wanted to remember how to do a stitch. And they used these stitches to mark household items, like things maybe that went to the wash. They want to make sure that they get back to their right owner. So that was more of a not so decorative. They were rolled up.
Yeah.
So a couple more facts. The very first dated sampler was dated 1598, and her name was Jane Bostock. And some of the facts that I'm going to mention to you, we have one of our viewers, Rachel Canavan Miller, who did some research on some of the samplers. So when we get to those samplers, I'll kind of give you the background on that particular sampler.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Rachel.
Thank you, Rachel. All right. So again, this sampler is mostly no verses, just alphabet, letters, decorative stitches.
All right.
All right. So now we're going to go to this next one right here.
And guys, I just want to apologize. We do get glare, but I'm doing the best I can here. So just try to bear with me.
And this one, again, is just letters and alphabet. No verse, no date.
Okay.
I tried to buy ones with the date just because if you want to look them up, you might be able to find some information about them. Now, the little one below it is the smallest one I have. And you'll see, as we go through, you'll see some common themes, like see the little dog over in the left. He's a little black dog.
Yeah.
This sampler is about 5 by 5, and again, this one doesn't have a date, but it was so cute and small, and it's faded.
Wow.
But it's really, really cute.
It's adorable.
It's adorable. Now this next one is also a band sampler. And you can see the alphabet, the stitches. It's signed Eliza Ferguson. She was born August 31st, 1799.
Wow.
And this is an unfinished one. So did she die? Or did she just... It looks very detailed and very good, so I don't think she'd be discouraged that she didn't want to finish it.
Right.
So what happened?
What happened?
Who knows? But that's a band sampler. Okay, so this next one is Martha Ann Catton, aged 12 years, and I think it's 1858. And this was one of the ones that Rachel got some information, so I'll read that to you. This is one of the, I think it's considered a spot sampler because it just has sort of motifs kind of all around, as opposed to the long band one, you know. So you'll notice some of the same motifs. You have the dog, you'll see houses, you'll see birds, you'll also see a lot of flower pots with flowers, these stylized trees, birds. What else is in here?
That looks like a little squirrel or something.
Yeah, a lot of animals, and this has just a very simple border. Also, the crown. I don't know if you can see the crown there. That, and I don't know if it means it's English. I don't really know. It's hard to get that history. But this is what Rachel found from Martha Ann. I'm just going to read it.
Okay.
The closest that she could find was a Martha Ann Catton, born in 1846 in Derbyshire, England. She was born to Thomas Catton and Mary Ann Calloway. She couldn't find like a date of death or anything for Martha Ann, but she did find a Martha Catton with the same birth year working as a servant in a household in Surrey, England at the age of 25. Could be the same one.
Wow.
Could be, but again, so many of the names are very similar.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So then we're moving over to these two. This is Julia Cozzens. It says, Julia Cozzens is my name. At 8 years old, I wrought the same. And I don't know, it doesn't have a date. But again, you'll see the practicing of the alphabet letters.
Mm-hmm.
And down on the bottom, it looked like she was trying to practice some more difficult stitches, but didn't finish them.
Wow.
As samplers evolved, you know, from the 17th to the 18th century, they got squarer and squarer. And the reason for that is that a lot of these girls went to school to learn how to do women's work. And they were displayed on the wall, and the square size made it easier to look like a picture or a mirror or something up on the wall. And they would display them so that, you know, you could see how well they did their women's work, then they would make a good partner.
Right.
So it evolved from the long band shape to a squarer shape as time went on. And when I was reading about samplers, they basically date back to the Egyptians, but the first dated one was in that 1548.
Yeah.
That had a date on it.
Right. The Egyptians.
Yeah, the Egyptians, they found them. Yeah. So this is just another one. This actually does have a name and a date, and this one is just Nancy Whitmore from Keene, New Hampshire. And when I bought this, on the back of it, someone had done some research and just put it on the back of it.
Mm-hmm.
So this isn't really and I don't know if this was part of a longer one. I don't know. This seems an unusual size, but there's so much to learn about samplers that it could be just a small one. Maybe that was all the fabric they had.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Again, just a sampling of some stitches and the alphabet.
Huh.
All right, and then this one, okay, let's see. All right, this one, let me see. All right, I think this says Hannah on it. Let me just make sure I'm going to the right one. Okay. I think the date is 1810 on this one. And it says, remember your creator in the days of thy youth. I can't read her last name.
Okay.
And I can't read her age either. It looks like it's 1810. But one of the fun facts that Rachel pointed out was sometimes the girls picked out the date, you know, like one of the letters, or they picked out the age, and they were called vanity samplers because they didn't want anybody to know their age. Because a lot of times they would put age 8 in the year of our Lord. And so they would pick them out so nobody could tell how old they were. So those are called vanity samplers.
Interesting.
And then this one is just, again, this one is Lydia Dodge, March 1814. Again, was it part of a longer one and that was the only fragment left? I don't know. And it's basically no verse, just, you know, the alphabet and different stitches.
You know, it would be really fun. I just had this idea. Wouldn't it be fun to faux paint a whole wall, like a sampler?
Oh my.
Wouldn't that be cool? Like if you'd walk into the room and the whole wall would be a sampler.
It would.
Yeah.
I mean, these samplers, if you look at them, children did these.
Yeah.
And a lot of the kits we now get are the 8 o'clock, which is the counted cross stitch. They have the little holes, so when you're making your X's and your stitches, you can actually see the holes. Not these fabrics. This was linen. So I don't even know how they did these. It just amazes me. They're such, to me, they're such works of art.
Probably long hours in front of the fire with their mother looking over them, saying, "No, take that out. That wasn't right."
Yeah.
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 Wow.
Yeah. And again, this one here, you'll see the little animals. This one it's darkened up quite a bit, but it's got little animals on the bottom, some little trees.
Yeah. Cute.
And as we go along, some of them have even more, symbols, and you see them a lot. Wow. So this one here, this is my oldest one. It's 1798. And let me see. I really had to bring this over to the kitchen by the light with a magnifier to see who did this one. All I could get was Margaret. That's all I could get. And I think it's actually down here. You can barely even see it. But this is kind of a nice verse. It says, "Jesus, permit thy gracious name to stand as a first effort in an infant's hand. And as her finger o'er this canvas move, engage her tender heart to serve thy love." And then there's 2 more lines, and the last word is part and heart, but I couldn't figure it out. But again, you have some of the trees, the flower baskets. I don't know what would have been in here, something special, a bird. I love the little hearts when you see them. That's just a universal symbol. Nice borders. And this one, obviously it's darkened up, but it's 1798.
Well,
It'd
be dark and up too.
Even survive is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, it really is.
I love the ones that have the red.
Yeah.
The very first one you saw really had reds and greens.
Yes. Yeah.
And again, was it the availability of what colors were available? I don't really know.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
I don't know. They probably pulled the stitches right out of their clothing, right? I mean, it was expensive, so they really couldn't waste it. So I think sometimes when you see something started and maybe has 2 different colors, it's what they had left. They had to use it up because it wasn't easy to get the threads because they were they silk? Well, some were silk. When they start using when you see the wool, that's more the Victorian age. So then you're heading to later in the 1800s. Okay. I tend to like the ones, from the obviously 17 to early 1810, 20, or 30, really before the Victorian. But they're beautiful as well. It's just what you prefer. Right. Well, it's how you decorate.
Exactly.
You decorate with the older
So
style.
now this one, the next one we're going to go to is actually, it's a reproduction. But I love it so much. I actually had this kit, and any of you who are stitchers might remember the Elsa Williams stitchery kits. They had a lot of reproductions in Williamsburg. So this is called the Chase, and
did you do this?
I did not do this. Oh. No, this is a reproduction.
I was going to be
beautiful reproduction. I was going to do it.
Yes,
and I said, I don't think I'm going to finish it. I did it. I finished it maybe to about here, and I go, I can't. So, and this is, let's see. This is called the Chase.
Okay.
And this was done by Mary Starkey in 1760 from Newbury, Mass. And here's the Chase. I said, no, I can't. I just can't do it.
The giggles.
But no verse.
No. Huh.
No verse.
Wow.
All alphabet. And I don't know if this is its original size or not. I'm not sure. Probably. But it was a kit that someone stitched.
Right. For you, because you didn't finish it.
Well, not for me, but I found it. So I go, no, I didn't do that. But look, so I guess this is the chase.
Okay.
They're chasing, and then you got the pear tree. You got some birds. Again, the vases with the stylized flowers. You got rabbits. This is this is like a satin stitch, and then you have the cross stitch. But I rolled that up years ago, and I said I can't do this.
So do you have your half-finished one?
I do.
You should hang it on the wall, and then we can all surmise why this woman didn't finish their sampler. Did they die?
Because they wanted to die. And mine was on the 8 o'clock, so you could actually count the stitches. But when you're looking at the pattern, if you miss one stitch, then you're counting, and it's very stressful on the eyes, and I can't do that anymore. But I do have one upstairs that I did do and finish.
Oh, wow.
And I'll show you that when we go
cool.
upstairs.
Yeah.
So that's
beautiful.
That's the chase. I want to say that this one might be in, is it Williamsburg? Do they have
It's possible.
a museum?
Yeah.
Yes.
Colonial Williamsburg.
Colonial Williamsburg.
Yeah.
I think they have this one.
Okay. Have you ever been there? It's a whole town.
No.
It's really cool. Oh, you'd love it.
But I would love it. Yes, I would love it.
You would love it.
I would love it. Okay, so I think we're done in here.
Okay.
And we will now go through the hallway, and we're going to go to this one. So, let me just get my notes out, because I think this is one of the ones that Rachel did. This is Betsy Stodgel. She was age 10, and it looks like, I have 1843, but I could be wrong. This one you can actually read the verse that's in the little box. It says, "The loss of gold is great, the loss of time is more, the loss of something is such a loss as no one can restore."
Chest or chaste, maybe.
Oh, no, it's Christ.
Oh, Christ.
Oh, a lot of them were religious,
Yeah, but there's no R. It's like this weird E thing.
Well, some of the letters, and I forget which ones they were. They were T. They weren't. They were different. They looked different.
Yes.
So maybe that's
okay.
Yeah, I guess I should have written that one down.
Because that's a very different meaning. The loss of Christ versus the loss of chaste or chest
or chastity. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I thought of that too.
But see how this is just different motifs, sort of placed. I think they kind of call these spot samplers.
Yeah.
But again, you see these all the time. Houses were big. All these animals, and a lot of times they're kind of the same on both sides. But every once in a while they change. Some stylized trees. This one looks like it, and then you have this random rabbit up there. I don't know if there was one there. I don't know.
Huh.
A lot of animals, and then also here's the crown again. There's the crown and the birds. Okay, so this is one that Rachel did. Okay, so she said this woman was born Elizabeth Stodgel in 1833 to Daniel Stodgel, who was an agricultural worker, and Mary Ann Stodgel in Suffolk, England. There were a lot of samples from this area that still exist. And there was a teacher in that area named Judah Hale. So there's a lot of influence from her, and a lot of them still exist in that area. And that's when she also mentioned a lot of girls went to school to learn the stitches, and if not, either was a mother or a sister, a woman in the household, or sometimes there was a boarder who would teach in exchange for room and board. She says there are a lot of samplers from this particular area still.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing that's the thing you learn how to do?
Yeah. Yeah, that was like a big deal thing.
Wow.
So you could show off your skills.
Right, and then you could probably get a husband.
You could get a good husband, and then you could work and label everything. They had to label it. Also, some of the decorative stitches, like they could decorate fabric and furnishings in their home, they could use those stitches to decorate.
Okay.
Because remember, it was drab. I'm sure this brought a little bit of brightness and color into the house.
Wow,
you know?
interesting.
Yeah. And now we just put them on the wall because they're just beautiful. And they hung them on the wall because they wanted to. They were proud of them and they wanted to show their skills off. So
very nice.
And then we're going to go over to this one. Now this one was done by Hannah Heemus, age 12, 1822. And Rachel actually found, I think she found some information on this too. But again, you'll see the border, the floral border that's kind of undulating. You'll see the crown. Again, these trees. This one actually has a repair on it. And actually, this fabric, when I had it framed, it was very thin. Again, the birds, the crown, the basket of flowers. This one is actually quite easy to read as well. It says, "How happy is the man who hears instruction's warning voice, and whose celestial wisdom makes his early only choice. For she has treasures greater far than east or west enfold, and her reward is more secure than is the gain of gold." So a lot of them were really, they were religious.
Sounds like a hymn, right?
Yeah. And then over here, it's like a little key. You'll see, there's all kinds of interesting things in them. Let's see what. Okay, so Rachel said that the best match that she could find was a Hannah Heemus, born January 10th in Northfield, England, to Joseph Heemus and Elizabeth Leah, L-E-A. Other than that, she said a possible date of death for Hannah could be in 1840 at the age of 30, but she couldn't be sure it was the same Hannah.
Right.
Because Hannah was a very popular name.
Sure.
Very popular, yeah. But that's one of my favorites. Now my biggest one I have, and let me move this out of the way so you don't just see that. This is my largest one, and this is so fantastic. What did I write about this? Okay, so this looks like it's Ann Dawson, 1808, and it looks like, what does she put over here? She has William Elizabeth Dawson. Now, were those her parents? Were those her siblings? I don't know. I'm not really sure. Let me see. Okay. Oops. Okay. So So again, you have this beautiful undulating border with the flowers. Down here, when I bought this, there's some metallic threads in the bottom. You probably can't see it, but when you bring it to the light, they sparkle.
Ooh.
And that's the satin stitch. Then I think what over here, I'm guessing this is Adam and Eve, because this is a tree with apples and there's a snake, wound around it. Let's see. And it's got this great verse with these great angels. And I mean, it's the cross stitch is so small and fine. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Again, you have the lions. You have these, I don't know what kind of animals those are, but they look pretty fantastic. More animals, the trees, all these things are very, very common in these samplers. And these, look at these, like maybe antelopes or something? I don't know, but they're so fantastic. So much detail. I can't even imagine how long this. We're back. So I just wanted to tell you one more thing about this sampler. Based on the verse about people dying and rising again, I wonder if this is, before they have risen, and then I saw this person over here. I don't know, but I'm like, based on the verse?
Yeah.
And is this a godlike figure? I don't know.
Or an angel.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
So who knows, you know? But this is also the largest sampler I have, and it is 21 by 17 and a half.
Wow.
It's probably it's so detailed and beautiful. I don't know if it's my favorite, but I love all the animals in it.
It's amazing,
And the
Alice.
trees, yeah.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So we have one in the hallway.
Okay.
Is mostly mustard and green, and it's going to be kind of hard to see it. This was Elizabeth Cabell, aged 8, 1847. And it just looks like it's greens and mustards. And the verse on this is another religious one.
Yep.
And they're all religious.
Yeah.
'Tis religion that can give sweetest pleasures while we live. 'Tis religion must supply solid comfort when we die.
Huh.
And again, you see the trees, the birds, this basket with the tall flowers, the border.
Wow.
Pretty typical of what you
Yeah.
look for in a sampler.
Yep.
This one's a nice detailed basket of flowers.
Yeah, it is amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. And what did I say she was? 8?
That's-
8 years old.
I wonder how much your mother did.
Probably
And a
not.
big sister.
Probably not.
They didn't do things for people back then. They made them
Yeah.
do them. Yeah.
So we're gonna go upstairs to my room. I have some samplers up there,
Okay.
and we'll do that, and then we'll go into each of the bedrooms in the hallway,
Okay.
and then I think we'll be done.
Okay,
Probably have
cool.
another half an hour. Or so.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Okay, so this one was done by Mary Seaman, 1802, aged 8. And this was one of the ones that Rachel found some information, I think. Okay, she said she couldn't find her, but that the sampler looked English. But sometimes they were American samplers, but they looked English because they had teachers that brought their samplers and their design with them when they came over. So sometimes it's hard to know whether it is English or American. But she said it looked like it was English. She said she did find a Mary Seaman born in 1795 in Spotsylvania, Virginia, but again, no way of knowing whether this is the same Mary Seaman, because I'm sure there were lots of Marys and lots of Mary Seamans.
I'm sure there were.
Maybe, yeah. So,
Yeah.
But let me read the verse on that. Okay. This is a long one. Oh, it's pretty long. Well, all right, here we go.
Here we go.
Okay, so here's the verse on Mary Seaman's, 1802. Next unto God, dear parents, I address myself to you in humble thankfulness for all the care and charge on me bestowed, the means of learning unto me allowed. Go on, I pray, and let me still pursue these golden arts the vulgar never knew. I thought that was kind of interesting choice of words.
Yeah.
Then it still continues. It's another whole verse. Friends are like, I wish I should have.
Leaves.
Yeah, friends are like the leaves on which the trees
Do grow.
Yeah. In summer, prosperous state, in much.
Love do show.
Yeah. Good job, Ian. But art thou in adversity when they.
Then they,
like leaves from the trees, in autumn fall away. Happy is he that hath a friend indeed. Be he never happy,
but he more happy is who done doth need.
None
doth need, yes. None doth need. You're more happy if you don't need anything. Yes.
Apparently. Again, the common trees, birds, the crowns, baskets of flowers, nice undulating floral border, borders in between the verses, and then you've, just the size of the stitches is pretty amazing to me.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, without any guide.
Right. It's beautiful.
All right, so then we're just gonna, this is another band sampler. Mostly reds and greens. And you can see, I don't know, it must have got wet or something there. But this particular one, I love this. It's like a little animal inside of a square. And this one has lots and lots of hearts. I'm a heart collector, as you well know.
Yes.
So this one had a ton of them.
Wow.
And again, it seems like it's mostly just the reds and the greens. So maybe that was what was available. And again, I don't know how old, but I'm guessing it's probably older.
Okay.
I don't. Oh, wait a minute. I think I now see a date. That might be 1814. And believe it or not, I looked at all of these for dates, and now I just spotted that.
Popped
just
right
now.
out at you.
Yeah, it just jumped out. Yeah,
Amazing.
so that's 1814.
Wow.
And then we have this one. I guess again, this was probably a band sampler as well, because it's kind of long. There's lots of threads kind of missing in there, but heart, one of my favorites, the heart. I love the stylized trees, obviously flower baskets, flowers, and it looks pink, but I don't know that it was pink. I think it was red.
And it faded.
And it might have faded out.
Yeah.
And you see the change in the color here.
Yeah.
Again, maybe she ran out of thread.
Right.
I'm guessing. And it looks like it's, what did I write for that? I don't know if I have a date, but
1820 something?
yeah, that's what it looks like, but
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't see anything else on
Right.
that. And of course, when they're framed, you don't really know if it's bigger,
Right.
if there's a border.
Right.
You assume that they didn't cover the border up when they framed it. I didn't have this one framed. I probably bought it like this. A lot of these I did have them framed.
Okay.
So if it had a border, I obviously would have had them frame it outside the border.
Right.
Okay, so let's see, what's the next one? We got one over here. And this is, it just says September 28th, 1837. And her name is Catherine Webster. And again, it's just a sampler, just letters. And it really has a lot of, issues here. Just a simple alphabet sampler.
And yeah, so fun.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I just love that. All right, now we got a few more.
Oh, yay.
So let's go back to this one. Oops. Hoping you're not filming me as I'm bending down.
I'll move along.
All right, we're going to go straight into this room here. Okay, so this is, again, another sampler, very fine, but no date that I could see and no verse. But all those same things that you look, the undulating border, vine, the houses are a big theme. You have some little animals, you have the crown, you have the trees. You do have a couple of people, another little house, but a lot of crowns a lot of different stitches.
Very cool.
You know, you got a little, looks like a little bow there. Again, is this considered a spot sampler where the motifs were kind of just placed? I mean, there is order to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's more, I don't know. But then it has it separates some of these scenes by these other decorative borders too. The more you look at them, the more you see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah. And again, the stitches are very, very small. And I don't have a date on that one. And then this little one over here, which is so cute, right over here.
Oh,
we can actually
that one's
take
the wrong
it
place.
down. It's just, it's Polly Warner, and what's the date on that? Age 10 years. I just love the stylized trees.
Cute.
So cute, huh?
So cute.
I love the name Polly.
Polly, yes.
I mean, it's such an old-fashioned
I know.
name, Polly.
We named one of our chickens Polly.
Polly.
Yes.
So that's just a
Neat.
simple small sampler. And then the one over the bed there, which you can kind of zero in on. That one I think, Elizabeth Harris, age 7 years. And of course, this room is kind of like, you know, a little kid's room. So I decided when I decorated to just put that over there.
Yeah.
And as you can see, every room, all I have is samplers. So you can definitely use them to decorate your walls. Just put them
Sure.
everywhere.
Everywhere.
All right, so that's it for this room. Now we'll go into this room. Okay, so this one I might take off. There's only one in here. And this one is called Religion. And Rachel actually found some information on this one. And let's see where it is. Oh, I skipped it. So she said that this one is a Quaker.
Ah.
It's a Quaker one. Okay, so let me, it looks like she's got, I don't know if that's better. Let me see what she said about this one. She said a whole lot about this one, I think. All right. So this is the right one? Yeah, this is Mary Purdon. And these, John, Mary, and who else? Another name there. Joseph, I think those were her siblings.
Mhm.
That's what she thinks they were.
Okay.
Okay. It says Mary stitched her sampler with the parents' initials and their children, which means her brothers and sisters right there. Okay. She believes that, she says it's definitely a Quaker. And there were many Quakers when they migrated to the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area and Delaware.
Okay.
So you find a lot of these samplers. And they look, she says, definitely Quaker. And 40 years before that, the Quakers were in England. Let me see what the... Okay, she found the Purdon family in Pennsylvania just after this was stitched. They came to America from Yorkshire and possibly settled in... it could have been stitched in Yorkshire, and they brought it with them. It looks like they settled in Pennsylvania about 1820. There's a lot of Mary, John, and Joseph Purdons. They're all Quaker. So when they came over, a lot of them were in the Philadelphia or in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And or Delaware. So they're easy to track.
Right.
On that one.
Interesting. Okay, here, hold this.
Okay. And this has a, I don't know what it is because I couldn't really read it. Okay, so this is quite a verse. Hails gentle piety's unmingled joys, when fullness satisfies, but ne'er can. Now, I don't know what the last word is, but it rhymes with joys. It looks like alloys or allays, but it should rhyme with joys.
Okay.
Spread thy soft wings o'er my devoted breast and settle there an everlasting guest.
Wow.
Yeah. So, again, religious, and obviously the Quakers.
Right.
Religious.
Yeah. Yeah.
But again, it has this dark blue border down here. Again, it's a little bit different than the others, where it doesn't have the border that goes like that. It's kind of an undulating inside with the flowers on the corners. Blues. I don't know what color that might have been. Obviously black.
Interesting.
Yeah. But that one's cool. A pretty heavy duty religious one.
Yeah.
And these actually don't match on the corners. Which a lot of times they do try to make them the same. And then it looks like there's a little, the more you look at these, the more you see there's like a little border here and then one across, and yeah, but it's very faded.
Yep.
Very faded.
Yep.
And if they were hung on the walls, obviously they would have got faded over the years. But I think if you took them out and turned them over, Rachel said you would see all the true colors of the threads.
Oh, interesting.
To do that.
Right.
Yeah. Only way you can really do that is if you have the sampler and you're going to reframe it. Like I bought this like this, so I'm not really going to open it. If I reframed it, then you would be able to see actually what color the threads were on the back.
Right.
So we'll hang that one back up.
Okay.
All right, so this is, it looks like Betsy Wales. Just an alphabet, just a sampler. And I don't know that I see a date on this.
14 years of age, February 28th.
What year?
But what year? Yeah. Who knows?
Who knows? I mean, it looks like a young person did it, but she didn't put her
no.
the date, the year.
Unless she took it out. Unless that was one of the people that took it out.
Maybe. Who knows? All right, now I have a sampler that I did.
Oh, let's see that.
Okay, so you can zero in on this, and you can see the little holes. That's counted cross stitch.
Right. Yeah.
But I do have some of the things you look for in a sampler.
Okay.
The border.
Yep.
The trees.
Yeah.
The basket. The birds. Hearts.
Yep.
Again, this is more vibrant colors, but who knows over time, you know, it'll probably fade out.
Right.
And hearts in the borders.
Beautiful.
And so when we built our first home in Franklin, this hung in the hallway.
Aww.
So like I said, I was trying to do the other one, but you, even believe it or not, this took a great deal of time. I've done other counted cross stitch. I've given them as gifts, and I thought I could do that other one, but I couldn't quite do it. This is another one, a little bit dark. It does have. Let me see if I could read the name of this. You can see the borders. You can see the birds. I'll get out of your way so you can get in there.
Hannah? Looks like a Hannah.
It looks like it's Hannah Franklin, February 8th, but I couldn't get it. I couldn't get a year.
Okay.
And that does have a verse. I think we can read it. Tell me, ye knowing and discerning few, where I may find a friend both firm and true, who dares stand by me. When it's funny, now look, she started the W and the rest of it came on. That doesn't normally happen.
No.
She must have made a mistake. She must have not counted properly. When in deep distress, and then his love and friendship most express. basket of flowers. I love the basket, with the fruit alphabet. A few, all the typical things that you find, with the border. And so if you want to do a lot of research, I'm sure that there are so many books, and I'll show you a couple of books that I have, if you prefer like a book for research.
Right.
But there's so much you can find about samplers on the internet.
Right. Okay.
There's way too much information.
Yeah.
When I was reading, it was a brain overload. So I just wanted to get some basic facts.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
So, I have one more over here. This one. Another, has two initials, JRAR. I think it says Ian Rose. The house, a big house. It's got the birds. Look at how vibrant this border is.
Wow.
Where the house, I think, was probably red, but it got faded out.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder how that happened. Maybe was it on the wall, and that's where the sun directly went on it. I bet you that's what happened.
Right.
Yeah. So what have I said about this one? Well, I guess I didn't say anything about that one. But again, it has a nice verse, trees. Now, I don't think there's a date, though.
No, it says 9 years.
9 years, yep. And that's it.
Why should I say this yet? Too soon to seek for heaven, or think of something. A flower? Death? I bet you that's death. Think of death, a flower. May fade before the noon. Yeah. And I this day lose my breath. That is very depressing.
Very, very sad on that.
That is very sad.
I lose my breath.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it was a lot of religion and death and virtues and all those kinds of. I mean, I guess that was part of the learning. You learn to be virtuous and you learn your stitches and.
And maybe a lot of these people are Puritans.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure. Now, I did read most of these were done by girls, young girls. Every once in a while, you will find one by a boy, which is very, very rare. And as Rachel said, it was usually because they were recovering from an illness or maybe they were sickly. So to give them something to do, they would give them the needle and the thread. But normally it was girls that did that because once they learned the stitches, they were the ones that marked all the laundry. Mm-hmm. They were the ones that did the decorations for the home. So it was women's work.
Wow.
Yeah. But how beautiful are they?
They're beautiful.
They're so beautiful.
They're gorgeous.
I know.
And they're also unique.
Yes.
Like you would think, oh, well, I have a sampler, right?
You'll never find two the same.
Exactly.
You'll never find two the same. It's sort of like mass produced.
Yeah.
And depending on who taught them, where they came from, what part of the country, what part of England they came from, it would be different symbols. And I guess when you study those from certain areas, then those same symbols are very common. And I guess if you become a connoisseur of them, then you're able to pick out ones that came from the same area. Like I know Boston and Providence had schools for girls. And I think there was someplace else, but I can't remember the location. But you will find lots from that year that have similarities, and that's how you can tell if you want to actually study samplers.
Wow.
Yeah. I like them. I'm not sure why I like them. They just draw me in. Maybe I'm thinking about the girl that did it, and having done samplers not even close to this quality, how time consuming they are, and that's what they did. I guess they learned their letters too, so it was a learning thing because obviously girls didn't get to go to school. I'm just drawn to them though, so I'm not really sure why. Maybe I was one of these girls.
Maybe you were the other way.
So I'm gonna go downstairs and I just want to show you a couple of books.
Yep.
But again, there's just so much on the internet now. I got the books when I really wasn't on the internet, so I could learn more about them. But it's kind of it's just when you start reading about them, there's just so much. They go so far back to the Egyptians. Who knew?
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. And like I said, the first dated one is in the 1500s. That's the first dated one.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Wow. Okay. Let's check.
So here's just a couple of books that you can probably get on the internet. This is always called Miller's. A lot of the Miller's books, they're a little bit easier to read.
Okay.
Some of them are pretty heavy duty, like this Samplers and Samplemakers. Well, there's a wealth of information, but it's like, really?
Oh, very small print. Whoa. Yeah.
I'm like, well, I guess I'll look at the pictures. And this one, so again, you can probably just go on Amazon and type in Samplers, and I'm sure
I'll leave links for these books.
Yeah, I mean, like, it'll tell you, like, this one happens to be a band sampler that we talked about. And you can just see the similaries. This is in English, so maybe the ones we were looking at were English. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know enough about them.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to, have a sampler course.
Right.
Well, we wanted it to be fun.
Samplers 101.
Yeah. We wanted it to be somewhat fun.
Test at the end.
So there's a few books, but again, there's a wealth of information
Great.
on the internet.
Very interesting.
So that's it for this little chat. What shall we talk about next time?
That is a very good question. Why don't you guys leave your ideas?
Yeah, leave your ideas.
below.
Maybe you noticed something that caught your eye
Yeah.
as we were wandering. So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, there's a lot. There's different china. There's pewter. There's portraits. There's furniture. There's a lot of furniture.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
pick one.
Pick one. Pick one for Ask Alice. Yes.
We'll try to be informative and fun.
We always try.
And this is a little more fun than the Zoom, I have to say.
It is. Well, we had to do what we had to do, right?
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is way more fun.
It is way more fun.
And then you can go in close on things.
Yeah.
Do that. So hopefully you could see them. I know it's tough with the glass or under glass. It's just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think we got pretty good shots of most of them, but Alice, I got to just thank you. Thank you for all the work that you put into this. Thank you, Rachel.
Yes,
that was a wonderful thing too. And I have learned so much today. It's really,
and
actually,
lots more to learn.
Now I'm really
That's just
intrigued.
the tip of the iceberg.
Right.
But,
I never really thought about it.
And now I was telling you, now that when I was going through the samplers and deciding which ones I wanted to show you, which ended up being all of them, except a couple of them in the upstairs bathroom, I really, really read the verses, and I really looked at them, and I said, maybe some of these maybe I can part with some of them so then I can actually buy a better one. Because again, I've been collecting for so many years. So when you first start out, it's a little simpler. It's a little less expensive.
Yeah.
And then as you learn more and you see more, and then you look for different things.
Right.
So some of these might be going to the store.
Oh, there you go, guys.
So
primitive goods.
You might have to go,
Yeah, we might have to check it out. Okay, well, Alice, you have a great day. We'll see you soon.
I'm sure you will.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.